This is the Dune White Ranger 39. The Ranger is the Tudor equivalent of the Rolex Explorer. It's a tough, simple, balanced, yet legible, field style, waterproof sport watch that is so versatile when it comes to different straps and bracelets. This piece is meant to withstand a beating, and I really like that about the design. Thanks to Exquisite Timepieces for lending this in for me to present. Exquisite is a family-owned Tudor AD in Florida. They carry 60 other luxury brands. I've personally bought from them many times over the years. They've been a big supporter of my channel, so if you're shopping Tudor, I recommend Exquisite, and a link is below. Now, Tudor says that this new color scheme, this new dial, is a nod to the Dakar rally that takes place every year in Saudi Arabia. It's a massive, brutally difficult off-road rally race that takes place entirely in the desert. And Tudor is an official partner. They're the timekeeper of the rally, and if you'd like to learn more about that, I've linked their website below. Now, how does this dial color look in person? I have to say, it looks so good. It's a warm, light beige. It's very sand-like, so I think the name Dune White is appropriate for this dial. And it does not look as creamy or tan as it does on Tudor's website, which is a shame because I think this would look even better if it was just a little more saturated, a little deeper in that tan color like the renderings portray. This is lighter in person, and hopefully that translates well, or it comes across well in this video. Now, the Dune White is not lumed. Some people, when they first saw pictures of this, they wondered and hoped whether the dial is fully lumed, but I confirm this is not a full lume dial. Here is the lume shot. Tudor's using a tan-colored superluminova that in natural light blends very well into the tan of the dial. The hands have a lot of lume area. They look fantastic. They're very potent. The markers are small. They're round circular plots, and they do have some dimension to them, but the lume there is average. There is more lume on the black dial Ranger with all of the rectangular markers and Arabic markers being printed in lume. So when you compare the two, the black dial Ranger, the lume lasts longer, but I really like the look of this Dune White version. It's just bold. It is easy to read in natural light. And the other factor that I enjoy about this watch is the fact that the color of the dial is unique for this brand. Tudor does an occasional white dial or opaline dial. Rolex does a couple white dials, but it's not super common. These brands rarely do light color dials that aren't bright white. And I think that makes this a bit more of an uncommon product just when you consider the broader history of Tudor and Rolex. The closest current production model that Rolex makes is the OP41, and that has a beige lacquered dial that looks phenomenal. I'm really interested in that watch personally. So this Ranger is fairly close to that, but certainly a bit whiter or brighter. Now, this off-white cream colored scheme, it kind of reminds me of the Oyster Perpetual that Rolex sponsored the 1953 Everest expedition team with. That OP was a time-only center-second sport watch that had a light dial that today looks creamy, off-white, a little bit tan. That watch was worn by expedition party members back for that attempt to summit Everest. Sir Edmund Hillary, when he summited Everest successfully for the first time, he was wearing that watch. Now, I know Tudor makes it clear that the Dune White Ranger pays homage to the Dakar rally, but part of me thinks that this is a bit more akin to the type of sport watch that early, 1950s Oyster Perpetual really was. After all, the Ranger is the Tudor equivalent to the Rolex Explorer, and the Explorer is the watch that Rolex uses today to celebrate its brand history of going to the top of the climbable world. Now, a few other things about this watch that I've noticed with my time with it. The winding of this Kenissi-made movement is so smooth. It's really satisfying to use. The crown is easy to grip, and when you thread it down, it doesn't sit flush against the case, and I like that. Now, the brushwork of the case and bezel is also a selling point for me. It's entirely brushed outside of the lip of the bezel, so it's quite a bit more sporty feeling or toolish feeling than the lacquer dial, rather shiny Explorer from Rolex. I also think that the fabric strap is very nice. Generally, I frown upon someone buying a brand new watch that does not come with a rubber strap, leather strap, or bracelet because fabric, it's the cheapest strap to manufacture. But this strap does not feel like a cheap run-of-the-mill fabric strap. It has a single pass nature when it comes to the design. The hardware is awesome too. Just be aware it's not for large wrists. I can barely strap this one on my 7.3-inch wrists comfortably. Now, I also have a grayscale camo strap from Tudor. This came from one of their older Black Bay designs, and I think this combination is really it's just really good. Yes, the tan, the green, the red is nice with the stock strap, but this grayscale camo, I think, just takes it up another notch. Now, I think the way to buy this watch, though, is on the bracelet. It's not that much more at retail price, and the bracelet is solid, it's comfortable, it's perfectly adjustable with the T-fit style clasp. So I recommend buying it on the bracelet and then adding different straps down the road because the watch is very versatile. On the bracelet, the retail price is $4,025. On the fabric strap, as shown, the retail price is $3,675, and it's also available in 36 millimeter with both of those two strap options for about $100 less than what you would spend on the 39 millimeter version. Now, a couple questions in closing. Do I like this color scheme more than the black dial Ranger? And for me, the answer is yes. This is bolder, it's more uncommon, it's a bit more playful. I would pick Dune White over black every day. Though if you were looking for something a bit more conservative, the black is the way to go there. Now, do I like this over a Rolex Explorer? I would have to say, honestly, I'd probably choose the Rolex and spend more on the Rolex. But the sport style non-diver from Rolex or Tudor that I think is the most attractive, that I think is the funnest, is actually the Air King. And maybe one day they do a white dial on that one. I think that would be pretty amazing. But in closing, I think the Ranger is a sweet watch. It's priced right. I like the fact that it's a solid alternative to a Black Bay, which really is the dominant model of the Tudor lineup. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate you watching today, and I hope to see you again in another watch video.